SONOS Arc Ultra. It's the biggest, baddest soundbar you can find by Sonos, and it just arrived and we've been using it for about 2 weeks. First of all, I want to talk about the drivers that are included in this brand new SONOS Arc Ultra. You've got, I have no idea why, when I read this, I didn't even think it made sense, but it has 7 tweeters inside. It also has 6 woofers dedicated to mids, as well as 1 woofer with dual membrane and 4 motors that's focused only on bass. So it has quite a few speakers inside of it. It is a little bit longer compared to the other version, but it's about maybe 5 centimeters, maybe an inch. That's about it. It's not a big difference, but I think it has to do with the tweeters, because the past version didn't have so many tweeters. It was more focused on bass. So that's the main difference with this soundbar. This soundbar looks to be a little bit more clear, a little bit more balanced, but maintaining that killer bass that the Ultra used to have. Whether that's true or not, I'm going to tell you in a couple of seconds, because the SONOS Arc Ultra also has all the other features that the past Ultra used to have. It's compatible with the Sonos application, which, yes, I know, is not the best in the market. There's been a lot of complaints about it. It's not that intuitive, it's not that easy to use, and it has quite a couple of bugs. But still, it's pretty useful for some things. For example, pairing it with other Sonos products. You can pair any other product. It doesn't have to be the new Sonos Aero 300s or the new Sonos 100s. You can actually pair them with the Sonos One. That's what we actually used to do this test. We have 2 Sonos One, we have a Sub Mini, and we have the Arc Ultra. So completely compatible with all the ecosystem that Sonos offers. That's one of the main things I've always liked about Sonos. No matter what you purchase or no matter what time goes by, everything is always compatible, and that's a great plus for a premium brand. So great. It also has the other features, for example, having True Play, where you can scan the room where you're at and it will give you a special calibration in the audio it recommends for you. I'm going to be completely honest. In the past version, I didn't use True Play because my ceilings are not even. And what I've noticed with this is that it doesn't work that well when you have like maybe diagonal ceilings or maybe inclined ceilings. If you have a completely flat surface or an even surface, it does a much better job and it gives you a pretty clean, balanced sound. But if you have a different ceiling like I do, the sound sometimes is good and sometimes is not that good, because it might favor a little bit more maybe the highs, or it might favor a little bit more the bass. So I prefer tuning this on my own and do it straight from the app, and it's a lot better, because I can actually choose what volume I want on the subwoofer, which is the Sub Mini. I can also choose the volume I want on the rear speakers and the volume I want those speakers to have when I'm playing music. In that sense, it's completely the same as the Sonos Arc first version. Now, what's the difference in audio quality compared from the Sonos Arc Ultra and the Sonos Arc first generation? Well, the only difference I could actually notice is that the Sonos Arc Ultra is way clearer. I mean, this is night and day. You can hear voices when you're actually listening to some action scenes, which used to be an issue I used to have with the regular Arc. I couldn't always hear the voices of maybe the actors inside the movie when I have a couple explosions or when there's something very intense happening in the movie. I can only hear the bass and the mids. So it actually muffled it a little bit and I had to put up the volume and try to hear what the people were saying. But then the bass would be way too heavy and way too loud. Now, whether you have speech enhancement on or off, you can hear the voices way clearer. I swear to God, this is night and day. And you get the same experience with the bass. The bass is still excellent. But also those mids help a lot to have a clean audio. So this soundbar is way more balanced, but still maintaining the bass. I hope that made sense. It's a little bit hard to explain on a soundbar. It's a lot easier to explain with headphones and speakers, but in a soundbar, since it's always a little bit more focused to consuming media, it's a little bit harder to explain. But in a nutshell, it's simply a lot clearer and it gives you the same bass. And I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate if you don't purchase a whole ecosystem at once. Let me tell you what I mean. If you want to buy a Sonos Arc Ultra, you can actually have it for a long time without needing any type of subwoofer or even surrounds if you have maybe a medium or small room, because it's pretty powerful. I could actually say it's more than enough for most people. You get very clear mids, very clear highs, and also very good bass. So a lot of people won't need to purchase a subwoofer. But the advantage is, if you want to, you can do it further along the line. You don't have to purchase like this whole package like some other brands do, like maybe JBL or any other regular consumer audio brands do. You can do it completely individual and even order it by Amazon, which is also a great plus. You can first buy your Sonos Arc Ultra and say, hey, maybe this is enough for me. Or if you want to buy maybe a couple of months later, one speaker, save up a little bit more, buy another speaker, now you have surrounds. Or maybe you just want a subwoofer because the Dolby Atmos is enough for you. Well, you just have to purchase maybe the Sub Mini. You don't even have to purchase the most expensive things to pair with this ecosystem. You can actually mix and match, which is an excellent thing to have with a premium brand. Now, there's a couple of things on this that I don't like. For example, outside of the box, the HDMI cable is terrible for a product this type. And let me tell you why I think that. The only way you can connect the soundbar is 3 ways. First of all, you can connect it via Bluetooth, which is only going to be for music. You don't want Bluetooth to play on a television or watch movies. You can also connect through AirPlay 2, which is very good. I didn't even know AirPlay 2 was actually a thing until I started researching when I got the soundbar. So it's a new version of AirPlay. It gives you a little bit more stability and also can transfer thicker or larger information through the bands, which is a nice plus. And the only thing you can actually connect through a cable is HDMI eARC, and I recommend this deeply. If you're going to purchase this soundbar, make sure your television has HDMI eARC, or else you will not take advantage of what you're purchasing, and it will make no sense that you spend so much money on a premium soundbar if your television doesn't have eARC. And talking about eARC, the cable that's included in the box is very short. This soundbar is actually made for big televisions. It's made for larger scales. I recommend 70 inches and above. And the reason for that is when you have a small television, you have to watch it a lot closer because you can't really see that far away or can't tell the details apart. That's why small televisions are for small rooms. But if you buy a large soundbar for a small television, well, the sound is going to be too intense for the distance you have between the soundbar and your ears. Bigger soundbars are made to be a lot better at a distance. They're not made to be listening too close by. Even if you think, okay, I'll just put the volume down, it doesn't work that way. It has so many drivers, it can actually be annoying to have a large soundbar in front of you if you're too close. So make sure you have a 70 or more inch television, and also make sure you're not that close to it. That's how you're going to enjoy it the most. And that's the reason why I also think a short HDMI is a terrible decision. Because these televisions always have the ports all the way on the side, and connecting it with this short HDMI cable can actually be a hassle. I ended up buying a different HDMI cable for both versions, even for my Arc regular and now this Arc Ultra, the same thing. I had to buy, what is it, maybe 3-meter HDMI cable, high speed, so I can actually take advantage of Dolby Atmos and all the features. Yeah, that's another thing. If you're going to purchase an additional HDMI cable, make sure it's a fast speed one. And by the way, if you want to purchase the same one I got, I'm going to put it down on the description. Now, is this soundbar worth it? Well, it's compatible with everything the Arc regular used to be. This is the first time I'm going to say this with a premium product that's only a generation away. And that is, it completely depends. If you think you need a little bit more clarity and you have that issue, I would say yes. Because that's one of the things I actually don't miss from the regular Arc is the clarity that this Ultra gives me. So I think it's a nice upgrade. You do enjoy a lot more of the content. You can tell a lot more things apart. Even for gaming, it's better. I know most competitive gamers actually use a headset, but I do like it for competitive gaming, curiously. It's not bad at all. So yes, I do think the SONOS Arc Ultra for the correct person might be a nice upgrade. But if you're somebody that already enjoys your Arc, you even think maybe it's a little bit too much for you, don't. It's not necessary for you to purchase a new Arc. It's a perfectly good bar, and you're probably going to be happy with it. Maybe just consider getting better surrounds, getting a bigger subwoofer, and maybe you might enjoy a little bit more your Sonos ecosystem. Also, the app is not the best. I completely acknowledge that. It's not intuitive, as I said at the beginning, but I don't use it that often. I only use it to upgrade my firmware. I only use it for the first setup, which is adding the surrounds and the Sub Mini. And after that, well, I really don't look back into it until maybe something happens. So I don't consider it being a big deal. But it is true that if you're paying that premium price for a premium product, it should have a premium app. And I'm sure they're working on it because they've been patching it little by little, but I do think it still needs quite a bit of work. Now, the price, $999 in most countries. That is a pretty penny. So it depends practically on how much you appreciate having a nice sound, because for that money, yes, you could get a full-blown surround system with maybe an amp, maybe second-hand, something that's a little bit more audiophile grade. But also, what I do like about the Sonos ecosystem is no cables. And that's what I want when I'm watching content. So, depends completely up to you if you think the soundbar is a good purchase for you. I think it is for the correct person, that person that doesn't want wires, wants a premium audio with a soundbar and an ecosystem if he wants to upgrade or she wants to upgrade further along the line. So if you're interested in purchasing the SONOS Arc Ultra, check my affiliate links down below in the description. And also, maybe check out this video over here. I think you might like. And don't forget to subscribe and drop a like because it helps us out quite a bit.